evening. I'm Janet Chandler with the Cullman Tribune, and I'm here to read you a story tonight called The Tale of Tom Kitten and Jemima Puddle-Duck. Once upon a time, there were 3 little kittens, and their names were Mittens, Tom Kitten, and Moppet. They had dear little coats of their own, and they tumbled about the doorstep and played in the dust. I do wish Miss Twitchit would keep her kittens in order, quacked Jemima Puddle-Duck. One day their mother, Mrs. Tabitha Twitchit, expected friends to tea, so she fetched the kittens indoors to wash and dress them before the fine company arrived. Goodness me, Tom, I had not realized quite how you have grown. Oh dear, sighed Mrs. Tabitha Twitchit. We'll just have to see what we can do. Now, you must walk on your hind legs and keep away from the dirty ash pit and from the pigsty and, the puddle ducks, said Mrs. Tabitha Twitchit. Then she let the kittens out to play in the garden while she got the tea ready. Ooh, let's climb up the rock wall and sit on the garden wall. Moppet's white tucker fell down into the road. Never mind, she said. We can fetch it later. Now, where's Tom? Come along, Tom. Hurry yourself up. Tom was all in pieces when he reached the top of the wall. His hat fell off and the rest of his buttons burst. While Moppet and Mittens tried to pull him together, there was a pit-pat, paddle-pat, and the 3 puddle ducks came along the road. Rather fetching, don't you agree, Jemima? Asked Rebecca as she tried on the hat. Mittens laughed so much she fell off the wall. Moppet and Tom followed her down. Come, Mr. Drake Puddle-Duck, said Moppet. Come and help me dress Tom. Come and button him up. But Mr. Drake put Tom's clothes on himself. It's a very fine morning, he said, and he and Jemima and Rebecca Puddle-Duck set off up the road. Then Mrs. Tabitha Twitchit came down the garden and found her kittens on the wall with no clothes on. My friends will arrive in a moment, she said, and you are not fit to be seen. I am affronted. Straight to your room, and not one sound do I wish to hear, she ordered. I'm afraid Mrs. Tabitha Twitchit told her friends that the kittens were in bed with measles. Dear, what a shame. The poor little souls, exclaimed Henrietta. But the kittens were not in bed. Not in the least. You did say they were poorly, didn't you, Tabitha dear? Asked Cousin Ribby. As for the puddle ducks, they went into a pond. The clothes all came off because there were no buttons, and they have been looking for them ever since. But Jemima was no better at finding things than she was at hiding them. She tried to hide her eggs, but they were always found and carried off. No one believed Jemima had the patience to sit on her eggs. She became quite desperate. I will hatch my own eggs if I have to make a nest right away from the farm. And so, one fine afternoon, Jemima set off. Jemima was startled to find an elegantly dressed gentleman reading a paper. Madam, have you lost your way? He inquired. Jemima explained that she was looking for a convenient, dry nesting place. Indeed, how interesting. A nest? But there is no difficulty. I have a sack full of feathers in my woodshed, said the bushy, long-tailed gentleman. Goodness, thought Jemima. I've never seen so many feathers in one place. Very comfortable, though, and perfect for making my nest so warm, so dry. The sandy-whiskered gentleman promised to take great care of Jemima's nest until she came back again the next day. Nothing I love better than eggs and ducklings. I should be proud to see a fine nestful in my woodshed. At last, Jemima told the gentleman she was ready to sit on her eggs until they hatched. "Madam," he said, before you commence your tedious sitting, let us have a dinner party all to ourselves. May I ask you to bring some herbs from the farm garden to make a savory omelet?" Jemima Puddle-Duck was a simpleton. She quite unsuspectingly went around nibbling snippets off all the different sorts of herbs that are used for stuffing roast duck. "What are you doing with those onions?" asked Kip, the collie dog. "Where do you go every afternoon by yourself?" Jemima told him the whole story. Jemima went up the cart road for the last time and flew over the wood. The bushy, long-tailed gentleman was waiting for her. "Come in the house as soon as you have looked at your eggs," he ordered. While Jemima was inside, she heard pattering feet round the back of the shed. She became much alarmed. A moment afterwards, there were the most awful noises: barking, baying, growls and howls, squealing and groans. "And I think that's the last we will see of that foxy whiskered gentleman," said Kip. Unfortunately, the puppies gobbled up all Jemima's eggs before Kip could stop them. There, Jemima," comforted Kip. "I'm afraid it's in the nature of things. Best make our way home to the farmyard, where you belong, my dear." Jemima laid some more eggs in June, but only 4 of them hatched. She said that it was because of her nerves, but she had always been a bad sitter. The end. I hope you have a good night and sweet dreams.